Welcome everyone to the 10th of hopefully many Degenesis lore drop videos. Man, when I started this series 2 months ago with the Needle Tower video, I didn't think that I would pump out a video week for week. And I want to thank you all for the support, because it really motivated me to keep going. But now I'm also pretty exhausted and I do need a break. So if you're here for the lore only, I'll be back in a couple of weeks with videos about Free Spirit, Tannhäuser, Homogeantes, Vasco, and many more. But if you're also interested in other Degenesis related content, stay tuned for more in the following weeks. I might actually need your support and input more than ever. So now, I hope you all enjoy this new video on Argyre. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. The marauder Argyre is also known as the Vulture, or the Rotten God. Argyre hasn't been seen in centuries. Britain is said to be his domain, but no one has gone there and lived to tell the tale. According to legends, the marauder commands an army of enslaved sleepers, forcing them to serve with his so-called yoke. Argyre's yoke is rumored to be a device which encases the sleeper's shoulders like a leech and undergoes some strange change whenever the wearer strays too far. In March of 2390, Argyre declared the entire territory of Britain his dominion, and denied access to anyone who did not bow to his rule. The marauder had taken Britain by storm. Within a month, all chiefs of the region had lost their power or been beheaded. Argyre demanded that the survivors submit to him completely, ordering them to come to London and rebuild the scorched city. They became known as the Pictons, savage warriors with luminescent paint on their bodies. For years, reports of light pillars rising above Britain towards the sky have been piling up. Even in distant Saint-Brieuc, the rays are visible to the naked eye, raising questions that remain unanswered. Something big is going on in the domain of Argyre, repeating itself month after month. Before the Eschaton, the marauder Argyre was known as Nathan Argyre, Recombination Group board member and Britain's most acclaimed researcher in the field of coma treatment and brainwave manipulation. Throughout the Degenesis books, more and more details about how and why Nathan Argyre joined the Recombination Group's board are revealed, as well as the fact that he refused to join the corporation initially. In the Black Atlantic adventure, we find a letter written by Nathan Argyre to Recombination Group member Deva Almakova on October 22nd, 2066. In this letter, Argyre expresses his gratitude to the Recombination Group after they had invited him to a think tank meeting in Aspen, where Nikolai Gusev gave a talk about the corporation's advances in the field of cryosleep. Even though Argyre was heavily impressed by this meeting of brilliant minds orchestrated by the Recombination Group, he uses the letter to refuse an offer to become a member of the corporation posed to him at the Aspen event. His reasons for refusing the offer were primarily ethical. From the letter, we learn that Argyre apparently was a pioneer researcher in the field of memetics, which the RG and explicitly Norman Thorne planned to use to prevent a human being in cryostasis from losing sanity. But Argyre was wary about the potentially manipulative application of his young research. He further states that the field of memetics would need another 10 to 15 years of solid fieldwork and observational experimentation before aspects of it could be implemented. The letter ends with Argyre inviting Christine Espensen and Viktor Karmanov to his new laboratories in London to talk about a potential future collaboration. From a newspaper clipping printed on the same page as the aforementioned letter, we know that Argyre's new laboratories were later destroyed in a terrorist attack committed by the apocalyptic sect. From a streamcast conversation between Viktor Karmanov and the woman known as Y, as well as Christina Spensen, we find out more about this attack. It was most probably orchestrated by Y, who functioned as the leader of the apocalyptic sect. The attack had two major goals. The first was the acquisition of Nathan Argyre's research data, which Y confirms to have been successful. Secondly, the laboratory's destruction was supposed to devastate Argyre so much that he would join the recombination group in order to be able to proceed with his research. Argyre did join the recombination group and became a board member later, adding his expertise in memetics to the symphony of megalomania known as Project Tannhäuser. Argyre's research would be used to condition, or more accurately brainwash, the guardians of the sleepers that would eventually become Palers. It is not known what Argyre did during the centuries following the Eschaton until he ultimately rose to power in Britain, but we know that, like the other marauders, Argyre is motivated by revenge and a burning need for nanite blood. Furthermore, it is clear that him leaving mainland Europe was a reaction to a corresponder being activated, which turned his nanite bloodstream entropic. Today's London is a wasteland where reindeers and polar bears roam the ruins of the former capital, only disturbed by the screeching wails of subway trains beneath them. The trains race along the bygone magnetic rails, carrying their occupants far beyond the city limits. Pictons, Argyre's slave warriors, are aboard the wagons. Like every night, they go out hunting for prey in order to appease their god. But they don't hunt animals. They hunt sleepers. The marauder is waiting for his ambrosia. London's upper world has been abandoned, but its underground is raging. Elevator platforms lead down to Argyre's sanctum. According to legends, there's an endless web of tunnels and shafts spinning itself through the heart of the wounded city. A network of meandering tunnels serves as an abode for thousands of his followers. Much more than living quarters, this underground realm contains ballrooms, laboratories, and halls full of projection screens. meme chambers, the place where the adolescent Pictons are calibrated, can also be found here. Prison cells for captured sleepers as well. Hundreds of these recombination group soldiers are said to have fallen into Argyre's clutches. Not nearly enough. The marauder wants them all. He wants to punish them for what they did to him, for their betrayal. He wants revenge. He wants Gatrell's head. The Pictons are Argyre's army, a group of cannibals and wild lunatics at his mercy, the watchdogs of a rotting god. They are the fangs of the marauder, his bloodhounds and henchmen. Their eyes see every enemy, and they defend the vulture's territory with their very lives. For generations, Argyre bred them from the enslaved clans of Britain, cultivating them for his own purposes. Their ancestors were also conditioned in the meme chambers of the marauder. Here, he planted passwords into their subconscious and burned image sequences into their retinas, turning them into his own submissive and compliant slaves. Argyre's word is the law, and the only thing the Pictons fear. It's the only thing they know. He interprets the stars for them and provides them with food and equipment. When challenged, he wastes no time turning them into dust. They obey his every order, chasing after any intruder who sets foot on the soil of Britain. All over Britain, Pictons have rooted out RG bunkers, ripping sleepers out of their dispensers and dragging them to London, where they are milked for their blood. With a crude mechanical neck brace, known as the yoke, the marauder controls his prisoners, forcing them to take part in his revenge. It is Argyre's way of retaliating against the recombination group. The Pictons are fueled by so-called star food, a hormone cocktail Argyre feeds his minions with that turns them into tenacious combatants. Their body temperature is at a constant 39 degrees Celsius, making them more resistant to cold weather and hardening them to their core. As cunning warriors, they stealthily move about before unleashing their savage fury on their unsuspecting enemies. Their grotesque appearance is unnerving and sends their opponents running in the opposite direction, allowing the Pictons to attack from behind. It is the escape of one of the captured sleepers that sets off a major plotline of the Black Atlantic adventure. The paler halo Arnica manages to free the sleeper prophet Helios from Argyre's clutches. Argyre used his so-called yoke to force Helios to do his bidding. The yoke is a barbed, eel-shaped neck brace that buries its thorns deeply into the flesh of the one who wears it. If the sleeper got too far away from the heartbeat signal, the yoke's interference generator will activate it. The sleeper's own blood turns against them and crystallizes, puncturing organs and finally tears through their skin. Death occurs within seconds. The marauder wanted to use the enslaved sleeper and a device he was carrying to utilize the Thor laser, a bygone system designed to repel rocket attacks, which Argyre found in the city of Bath. With the help of the laser, Argyre tried to shoot down the maneuver orbiter in which he suspected Jerome Gatrell. Yet he failed, since he did not possess the correct coordinates. The device Helios was carrying was one of the 3 parts of the artifact known as Jehamed's will, namely the spear. Only by reuniting the spear with the other parts, the disc and the star, the coordinates would be revealed. After Helios' escape, Argyre sent out his Pictons, led by their champion Baelor, to hunt down the sleeper. In the course of the adventure, Helios obtains the other 2 parts of Jehamed's will and goes on a search for the Black Atlantic, a submarine that was supposed to play a significant part in the Free Spirit project. Project Free Spirit will be the subject of another video. For now, we only have to focus on the connection to Argyre. In the course of the Black Atlantic adventure, the player characters follow the sleeper prophet Helios into the submarine, where they are contacted by Argyre. The marauder tells the characters about Helios' terrible plan to launch several nuclear missiles towards mainland Europe and urges them to stop him. One of the missiles that are launched from the Black Atlantic is aimed at Bath. Helios is trying to destroy the Thor laser in order to protect the maneuver orbiter. Argyre manages to calculate the trajectory of the approaching missile and renders it harmless with a megawatt cannon, which drains all of the Thor laser's remaining energy reserves. Argyre and the Thor laser are both unharmed at the end of the adventure, and the marauder continues his search for Jehamed's will in order to exact his revenge on Jerome Gatrell. He sends out his Pictons into the Protectorate, where he suspects Jehamed's will to end up eventually. From the Clans of the Frontier supplement, we learn that he has done so many times before. The supplement focuses on the Pictons' clan. It describes the mimetic conditioning they underwent in Argyre's meme chamber and the core beliefs that have been implanted into their brains. The Pictons all know that the sleepers are the reason the land has been racked and ruined. The sleepers caused the death of billions. They snatched the future away from the people. And there is only one option: retribution. We also learn that the last 3 pulsars, the highest ranking Pictons, all perished venturing into Borca to confront the sleeper prophets of Exalt and disable the corresponder they're holding. It seems like Argyre is very much aware of the operations of Project Free Spirit, and he has also been waiting for Karakan to activate the corresponder that would send Chernobog on his deadly campaign. He also knows that this will clear the way for the Needles so that they can start the Carbon and travel to Baikonur. And Argyre is determined to stop them. In conclusion, Argyre appears as the marauder who underwent the most significant change of character, going from a rather humble and ethically concerned scientist to a brutal and brainwashing dictator in the centuries of his existence. He is a major player in the metaplot of Degenesis, opposing Project Tannhäuser, Project Free Spirit, as well as the Needle's plan to reach Baikonur. Alright everyone, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope the audio quality was good enough. I'm still completely screwed by hay fever. I'm sorry, but I wanted to upload this video and be done with season 1, and we're here. Thanks to everyone for watching, for commenting, and for subscribing. Yeah, like these 2 months were really cool. We gained like 100 subscribers, and I wouldn't have thought that. For the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna chill, focus on the new project, and if you're still listening, you're part of the hardcore. And I think I can tease you with 3 words. Degenesis Solo RPG. Stay tuned for that. And now, have a great one.